What's going on, guys? Happy Friday evening. It is September 1st. It is Labor Day weekend. Baron and I were out here in the garage messing around. We were talking about all these different tires right here. I'm in my pajamas. Gotta apologize. Sorry, guys. Anyway, we're taking a look at these different tires here. We have the new Dunlop Trail Max Raid tire. We have the Dunlop Trail Max Mission. A lot of you guys have been asking what the differences are between the Mission and the Raid and why you choose one over the other. We'll talk about that here in a second. We have the Motaz Tractionator Adventure tire, which is arguably one of the best tires out there in the space when it comes to a 50/50 plus adventure tire. And then we have the Bridgestone AX41, as you guys saw in a recent video, one of my absolute favorite tires in the adventure segment. It just works so good on the pavement. It works great in the dirt. The rear tire just doesn't last as long as we like it to. And there's a lot of reasons why. Hey, Baron, come on in closer real quick. Take a look. So this guy right here, the AX41, you can see that the tread depth, got to watch out for your shadow. So you're going to want to stay on this side. Take it. Step over here on this side and then look at, see how your shadow's gone? Cool. So you can see the tread depth on the AX41 is relatively shallow compared to that of the Motaz. So the tread depth reading right here, oops, pop back out again. Tread depth reading of this AX41, we're looking at right around 11/30 seconds or 9 millimeters versus the Motaz Tractionator Adventure right here. Gonna put this puppy down in and we're gonna read right around 12 millimeters or 14/30 seconds. Here is the Dunlop Trail Max Mission tire. We're gonna lose just a little bit off that guy. We're gonna look at 11 millimeters or 13/30 seconds. And then the Trail Max Mission tire, or sorry, Trail Max Raid tire is right around 10 millimeters or what's this guy right here? 11/30 seconds. Now the big difference between these tires is really going to be the amount of void between each of these lugs. The Bridgestone AX41 has the biggest void between the lugs, but the lugs are the shallowest of all of these tires here across the board. The Motaz Tractionator Adventure has the largest gap between the second largest gap between the lugs, but you can see that the actual tread depth or height of the lug is almost double that of the AX41. Big difference. Moving on over to the Trail Max Mission. The Mission tire is a phenomenal tire. They're touting this as a 50/50 tire. I think it's just one step down. I think it's just kind of that in-between tire between a 50/50 and a 50/50 plus. It does a great job on the street. It does a great job in the dirt. It's a fantastic tire. It's extremely heavy. The carcass on this thing is so robust. I'll pull that here in a second and kind of show you what that looks like. But yeah, as far as the next tire in the lineup is going to be the 60/40 from Dunlop. It's the new Trail Max Raid tire. You can see that we don't have as much distance between these lugs as we have on the AX41 or the Motaz Tractionator Adventure. What we do have is a lot of leading edge bite. I really like that on this tire. We've got all of these leading edges and all these little edges right here. Come on, Baron, over here real quick. All of these little edges, oh, you gotta step back a little bit and go behind the light. So right over here and then angle this way. All of these little edges here on each of these lugs are gonna be little teeth that are gonna bite into the dirt, gonna bite into the ground and be able to give you traction. That's something that you miss on a pure square block type tire. So having all these leading edges is a huge benefit. And also the radius here that we see, you can see it on the AX41 as well. We have a radius here and that helps take that dirt. It's gonna grab the dirt and it's gonna fling the dirt out to the side. We don't see that so much on the Motaz tire. It's more of a traditional block style, which is interesting. But the Motaz does a good job because of the alternating tread blocks, which you see on the AX41 as well. We have a larger block, then a smaller block, and a larger block. Same thing on the Motaz. Larger block, smaller block, and then larger block, medium block, small block. As far as the Trail Max Mission tire goes, if you pop over here, it's basically just a solid block of rubber that has edges kind of cut into it and kind of weave throughout. That's going to allow this tire to feel super smooth on the highway. you're not going to have that block type pattern or the dut that you sometimes feel on some of these knobby tires. It's just not existent on the Trail Max Mission. Super, super smooth when it comes to that. The other thing you're going to notice is that on some of these tires, or not on pretty much all these tires now, except for the X41 kind of, are that these side lugs here are actually tied in. They've actually tied the kind of midline block to the side block here, and that's going to give it a little bit more stability. But the Motos tire, as you can see here, these three lugs are actually tied together, so you have a lot of stability when you get leaned over into the corners. Over here on the Trail Max Mission, they're not quite as connected. You see that these blocks here are kind of all stand alone. They're not really tied together. However, the carcass is super stiff and they're all tied together down there at the very base. So it's just a different way of constructing these tires. The Trail Max Raid, each of these blocks here on the side are standalone blocks, but they're all tied together here across. If you come in real quick, Baron, come over here, stand right over here and show this way. You can see that unlike the Motos tire here that has actual individual blocks here all separated, we have more of a what's that? Your hand's getting tired? Okay, I'll stop.
For like 6 minutes.
6 minutes? Oh no. Let me see.
6 minutes.
Oh man, we have 8 people watching though. What's up, guys? Happy Friday. Thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna let Baron take a break here real quick, but the Trail Max Raid tire. You can see that this block here, you can actually see little ridges in between each of these. These are all kind of tied together as one solid formation that's then molded into the actual carcass of the tire. It's extremely interesting. What I think that's also going to do is once this tire gets worn down, say 75% or so the actual tread wear indicators are all the way down here at the base. But above that are these lines here in between the lugs. So you're going to get down to that point and it's going to be like a slick across these different blocks here. I think it's going to look a lot like a Karoo 3 when you get down to that point. A worn out Karoo 3 and a worn out Raid might look very similar because of that connection there between the blocks. But I mean, I like the fact that they're connected. It's going to give it tons of stability. I don't like the fact that it's so close or I guess up off of the carcass itself, so you're going to lose some of that tread wear characteristic. But yeah, anyway, just a quick look at some of these tires here, and some of the similarities and then some of the differences. I mean, if you look at the actual pattern here on the Raid tire versus that of the AX41, it's really close. The tread depths are interestingly close as well. I'm a super big fan of this front tire. Can't wait to get this thing out there to see what it's going to do. It doesn't have really big, thick, tall blocks, so it's going to be relatively stable. I have noticed, though, on rain groove cement and things of that nature, we do follow lines quite a bit. Or if there's a deviation on the road, it kind of wants to jump around on that. It's a little bit less stable than some of the other full knobby tires that I've been on, like the dual venture tire from Motos. That one seems to be a little bit more stable out there on the grooves than the Raid tire at the moment. Oh, the durometer, we can't break. Oh, we did break the durometer. We busted off the lid. We got to protect this puppy. This is like, whoo-wee. I have to get a new job if I break this puppy. As you can see, it's still reading 0. So it's all these tires have been out here in the dark. So let's take a look at durometer readings. We're looking at 64 here for the Raid rear. Let's go here to the
9 minutes already.
Okay, the Raid front is reading 70 on the nose.
Oh my gosh.
Trail Max Mission is 80. So that the durometer reading of 80 on this versus 64 on the Raid is going to mean that this guy here, obviously the longevity that we see out of the Mission, we're not going to see out of the Raid. I mean, that durometer reading is absolutely crazy. 80, it's nuts. Let's take a look at the front here on the Mission. We're looking at 70. So we're a much softer compound on the front of the Mission and a harder compound on the rear versus here on the Raid, we're 64-ish and 70. So we're actually softer on the rear and harder in the front, which is opposite of what we're seeing here on the Mission. If find that quite interesting. Here on the Motaz Tractionator Adventure tire, we have 70 at the durometer, and we have the deepest tread blocks. Lets you know why that thing lasts a long time. The Dual Venture, let's take a look and see what we have over here. Dual Venture is going to measure in at right around 71-ish or so. The Bridgestone AX41, let's get settled in here. We're looking at 72-ish here on the front. And here on the rear, we're looking at 74, 75 on the durometer reading. So pretty hard, but the tread depth itself is relatively shallow, so that's the reason it wears out relatively quickly. Anyway, just a quick look at some of the top contenders in the ADV 50/50 plus tire segment. I'm Kyle Bradshaw. If you guys like the content that I produce, the tire testing, we're going to get this raid out and actually put it through the special tire test loop here this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Stay tuned for that. Coming up here shortly. Yeah, so much action going on, guys. Super busy. Try to find the time to sneak this stuff in when I can, but you guys are what make it possible. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. In the link to all the videos are little affiliate links. We got Amazon, we got Rocky Mountain, we got my own personal website at the top where you can purchase Motaz and Motaz tires, as well as Wild Ass seat cushions. I'm telling you, if you haven't ridden on a Wild, or if you know Airhawk, Airhawk is where Wild Ass kind of got derived from. Airhawk kind of went the way of the corporate world. They started doing cheap stuff, and they weren't doing things the way they were supposed to do it. So Craig from Wild Ass Seats decided to break off and do his own business. He's been doing it, I don't know, 7 or 8 years now or so. And they make amazing air cushions for your motorcycle. I've ridden over 1,200 miles in a day on those seats and not had a sore ass the next morning. So yeah, I got to hand it to Wild Ass Seat Cushions for doing that. Anyway, I'm an affiliate for them. I just finished up my training, and I can get you guys a good deal. So if you want to take a look at the website, link in the description. If you're looking for an Airhawk seat cushion, sorry, a Wild Ass seat cushion, better than Airhawk. I don't know why. I've been selling Airhawk since the early 2000s, so it's just kind of ingrained in the head. But Wild Ass is the better seat cushion, so make sure you take a look at that. And yeah, it's getting late. It's Friday night, 3-day weekend. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope you have a lot of fun plans for your Labor Day. And if you have any questions about any of these tires or anything that I've ever produced, please leave a comment down below, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks again, guys. Till next time, take care, ride safe out there, and hey, Baron Boy, thanks for being my awesome videographer tonight. I appreciate it. High five, kid. Nice. See you guys on the next time. Peace.
You got 14 comments and 6 likes.
14 comments and 6 likes.
In the whole thing.
Oh, that's 14 people that are checking out our video. Oof. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. And 6 thumbs ups. Oh, look at. We can do characters on here. We can do peace. We can do, what's that one? Hang loose. Hang loose. We can do peace. Ha. What's up, Mr. Wagner? Appreciate you, man. Big thumbs up. See you guys. Have a good night. Happy Labor Day.
Look at this. 13 minutes and 37
Oh my
seconds.
gosh, we got a bunch of hot air, huh? Ready? Let's smile at the camera. Good night, guys.